Joining us now, the Market founder and editor-in-chief, Julia Angwin. Julia, always great to have another Julia on the program. Tell us the results of your investigation. What did you find, and how does it contrast with what consumers are aware of?
So what we looked at was what happens when you type in a product name on Amazon and a whole bunch of products show up in the search results. And Amazon has said to Congress that they do not give an advantage to themselves in those search results. Their house brands, some of which you've heard of, Amazon Basics, some of which you've probably never heard of, Solomo, are not advantaged, they say. So we ran the numbers. We scraped thousands of search results on Amazon, and we found that there is no question that being an Amazon brand is the most important factor in getting to the top ranking on Amazon. We use machine learning to do this with a statistical analysis, and the results were clear. Amazon brand is more important than all your star ratings, your number of reviews, whether people click on you. It's whether you're shipped through Amazon. Being an Amazon brand gets you to the top spot of their search results.
And so, Julie, of course, we don't know what's going to happen with the Inform Act, but how could legislation like that impact the landscape and force Amazon to make changes?
Well, there's lots of things being looked at in Washington to rein in Amazon's power, right? They have 40% of online sales on their platform. Third-party sellers are basically completely dependent on them to reach their markets. Lots of things can help, right? Transparency, for instance, most of these Amazon brands that they have, they have hundreds of brands, it's not clear to consumers that they're choosing an Amazon brand, right? So even just simple transparency is something that could make a difference. Obviously, the sellers being able to communicate with their customers directly is also something they're seeking. But, there's also an antitrust question here, which is Amazon using its platform, as a retail, a position in a new market? And that's a question that, regulators around the world are looking at.
Julia, thank you for this investigation. It's compelling. The evidence that you show of what Amazon is doing, makes it seem pretty clear. And it's interesting to me, this parallels complaints about Google and how it handles search, preferencing its own services above organic search results. But I think it's less clear that Amazon itself is a monopoly or has monopoly power. Isn't the real issue consumer protection, whether you're looking at the people who are buying the products on the site or the small businesses, which sometimes are individuals who are being enticed to pay advertising and other fees to Amazon to raise their products in the rankings, only to find themselves then knocked down by Amazon's own products?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I can't help but just sort of note that this investigation into Amazon's search results was actually inspired by our investigation last year into how Google promotes itself in search results. And we analyzed thousands of Google search results and found that they take up more than 40% of the top part of the screen in search results for their own products. And so and that finding has been used in many antitrust cases that are pending right now against Google. So we are in the business as watchdogs of measuring, right, whether these companies are abusing their monopolies and extending them into other areas. As you note, right, there are always going to be questions about market size, and market size is always the question for antitrust regulation. And lots of people will argue different things about whether they have monopoly power or not. But one way that you can think about monopoly power is, do you have the power to extract excess rents, right? And certainly the rising Amazon fees and the fact that a lot of the sellers say that they cannot get into the search results without paying for advertising in tens of thousands of dollars of advertising does make you think that their power is fairly extreme. And, it's up to the regulators and the judges to decide whether they call that a monopoly, but it certainly is something that is hurting a lot of small businesses.